What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're getting through it, ladies and gentlemen. We are looking at all the best cards from Worlds Collide. Today we have made it all the way to the Grand Star Alliance. So, what are the best cards in the Grand Star Alliance? Quick honourable mention before we get going. Thank you as always to the people on the Facebook group for helping out with the poll. You guys are awesome. Honourable mention for Stealth Mode. Gives you an amber bonus and says that your opponent cannot play action cards during their next turn. They can use their creatures, they can use their artifacts, they can play creatures, they can play artifacts, they can play upgrades. But they can't play action cards. Now sometimes this is just going to be super annoying for them and they're going to be very upset. But other times you're going to be playing against a Shadows deck and you're going to stop them playing too much to protect. Or Miasma, those cards that could literally lose you the game. Under those circumstances, it's even better. But in at number 10, we've got Psi Officer Morpheus, a 2-power, 1-armor creature. And after you play a creature with a play effect, trigger its play effect an additional time. And this is a permanent skill. It's not an action or anything like that, and it's not limited to the Grand Star Alliance. This is just any time Psi Officer Morpheus is on the field, and you play any creature with a play skill, you get to use it a second time. I mean, imagine having a Ronnie Wristclocks in your hand, and you play down Psi Officer Morpheus, and then you're like, oh, now I'm on a Shadow's turn. So I'm going Ronnie Wristclocks. Oh, look. Now I'm stealing 1 amber, 2 if you've got 7 or more, twice. Tell me that doesn't sound like an awful lot of fun. I can give you a million different examples of this, but just think of any card you like with a play skill. This makes it better. Of course, there are downsides here. Grimlocker's Dux is a creature I like very much indeed, but when you play it, you've got to exalt it twice. Which means that if you've got Psi Officer Morpheus down, you have to exalt it 4 times. And maybe that's fine, because you've got a reason to use it, but that can be... Putting 4 amber on is just like a red flag to your opponent. Hey, come knock him out. So do be a little careful. In at number 9, a card I am very fond of, Helmsman Spears. 2 power, 0 armor, and when you fight or reap, you discard any number of cards from your hand, and then you essentially draw a card to replace each one that you discarded. Brilliant. Because bearing in mind, this is going to be like halfway through a turn if you time it right. So let's say you got 6 cards in your hand, 3 of them are the Grand Star Alliance. You play the 3. I've now got 3 non-Star Alliance cards in my hand. Discard them all, draw 3 more. And one of 2 things is going to happen. Either you draw more Grand Star Alliance cards now, yay! And then you can obviously play them right away. Or you draw cards for your other house and you'll probably pick one of those houses next turn, so that will be fine. I like it. In at number 8, QUIXXLE Stone. A very whimsically named card. It is an artifact. It gives you an amber bonus. And it says that if a player has more creatures in play than their opponent, they cannot play creatures. So if your opponent's got 3 creatures down, you can play 3 creatures down. In fact, you can play a 4th. But then you've got more in play than your opponent, so you can't play any more. And they can then play 2. 1 to even up, 1 to go 1 ahead. Oh, I played 1 when we were even, but now I'm ahead. Oh no. Now I can't play any more creatures. It's a weird kind of card, and it helps to slow the game down and even it up. We saw Heart of the Forest come around in Worlds Collide, and that was a similar kind of thing, except it was forging keys. Stopped you forging a key, essentially, if you were ahead in the game. Really nice for slowing the game down. Really nice if you're playing against a deck that has a considerably larger creature focus than yours. In at number 7, Psi Officer QINCAN. Yeah, both the Psi Officers made it onto the list. Although, he's one of them there ones that actually gets his own blaster. Cool. So Psi Officer QINCAN, 2 power, 0 armor with elusive. First time you are attacked each turn, you take no damage. Nothing happens. After a player chooses an active house which matches no cards in play, you steal an amber. So if you choose an active house and it doesn't match any artifacts, upgrades, creatures in play, you steal an amber. But if your opponent chooses a house that doesn't match anything in play, you steal an amber. Obviously, this gets significantly better if you and your opponent have 6 houses between you. If they're playing the same 3 houses as you, it's significantly worse. But it's really nice because it's extra stealing of amber. Now, QUIXXLE's blaster, all the blasters give you an amber bonus, and all of them, when you fight or reap, let you deal 2 damage to a creature, or move it to the relevant officer. And after you attach it to Psi Officer QINCAN, you may archive a creature in play, and then bring it out later to use the play ability. Or just save it for later, heal it up, or archive one of your opponent's creatures that you do not want to see in the future. Yeah, that's kind of fun. In at number 6, Lay of the Land. This is an action card, and it gives you an amber bonus, and it lets you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them back in any order, and draw a card. Firstly, that means that you draw a card, but secondly, you get some kind of control and agency over the card that you draw. It's not just drawing a card, it is drawing the best card from the next 3. But it also means that you're going to know what the next 2 cards coming out are. That might mean that it tells you early which house you're going to want to pick next turn, so you can play this turn knowing what house you want next turn. It gives you extra information, lets you have a card of your choice. It's a very, very nice option indeed. In at number 5, we've got Red Alert. Red Alert is one of these cards I'm not massively taken on it, but I know a lot of people are, which is why it gets in at number 5. It is an action card, and when you play it, if there are more enemy creatures in play than friendly creatures, you deal damage to each enemy creature equal to the difference. So if you've got 3 creatures and your opponent's got 5, they've got 2 more creatures than you deal 2 damage to everyone. If you're just dealing 1 damage to everything, it's fairly underwhelming. It just turns it into a whistling darts without the amber bonus. That's not terribly exciting. But if your opponent's got, say, 7 creatures out and you've got none, you deal 7 damage to everything, and now it's basically a board wipe that doesn't give you any chains. That's quite a bit better. In at number 4, Transporter Platform. It is an artifact that gives you an amber bonus and has an action that lets you return a friendly creature and each upgrade attached to it into your hand. Now, this is another one of those that is very deck dependent, but because of all those blasters we keep talking about, there are more upgrades than you would expect to find in an average house in the Grand Star Alliance. And essentially what we're looking for here is, for instance, get a creature with, say, 6 upgrades on, return it to your hand, play the creature, attach all 6 upgrades, get the 6 amber bonuses. Then do it again, and then do it again. You might have lovely things like, if we take a look at QINCAN's blaster that we saw before, when you attach it, you can archive a creature in play, so you get to reuse the when you attach it skill. But I just love the idea of having 4 or 5 amber bonuses on a creature and just being able to use them over and over again. In at number 3, Medic Ingram. 3 power, 0 armor, and she's got a space lizard on her shoulder, so she's alright by me. And when you play or fight or reap, you may heal 3 damage from a creature and ward it. This is brilliant. Firstly, the healing 3 is okay, it's fine. It's not the best part of the card, but it's alright. Healing is fine. But you get to ward a creature. And warding a creature means you put a ward counter on it, and the next time that creature would be damaged or destroyed or otherwise removed from play, instead of destroying, damaging, or removing it from play, you just remove the ward counter. You cannot stack them, it's 1 ward counter at a time. This is brilliant. It guarantees that your best creatures will remain in play, and because it's when you play and when you fight and when you reap, you get to ward a creature straight away and then every turn from here on in. Healing 3 is fine, especially if your opponent's trying some kind of spreading junk, if they're trying to get ready for a Seeker Needle play. But no, I just adore the fact here that you're warding a creature every single turn. And you're a medic, you should be. Now, you do have your own blaster here. Gives you an amber bonus and lets you deal 2 damage or move to medic Ingram. And when you do, you fully heal a creature. Not one of the best blasters, but then again, maybe you've got a Gargantodon with 14 damage on. And now you get to heal it entirely. Yay! In at number 2, Com Officer Kirby. I love Com Officer Kirby. 3 power, 0 armor, but when you play or fight or reap, you may play a non-Star Alliance artifact, upgrade, or action card this turn. And what I love about this is, it doesn't have to be now. So you can fight or reap, but then use a card later. Maybe you haven't played Lay of the Land yet. You can use Com Officer Kirby, then use Lay of the Land, then play a card that you drew off of Lay of the Land. Gives you great options. Now, it is artifact, upgrade, or action. It's not creature, so you cannot play a non-Star Alliance creature. But the fact that you can do it when you play and then every turn here on in, like we talked about with Medic Ingram, really does turn the needle for me to this being an awesome card. Now, Kirby does have a blaster, gives you an amber bonus, does the usual stuff, and when you attach it to Com Officer Kirby, you draw 2 cards. Now, this actually works brilliantly with his skill, because when you play him, nothing, but you can then fight or reap with a creature that has Kirby's blaster attached, move it over, draw 2 cards, and then play one of the cards you just drew. It is a big deal that you get to play it later. It doesn't have to be at the same time. So we like Kirby, but number 1, and it's not close, Captain Jericho. And this is one of those ones where, honestly, I would have put this number 1 regardless what the poll said. Huge shout out to everyone that helped me with the poll. I'm very grateful, but this was always going to be number 1. 5 power, 1 armor, so very powerful. And she is a leader. Each Keyforge house has a leader in Worlds Collide. And if it's in the center of your battle line, that's a requisite for all the skills on these leaders, you may play 1 card that is not of the active house. It's amazing. Every single turn, not just Star Alliance turn, every single turn, you get to play a card, any card, creature, artifact, upgrade, action, whatever you like, not of the active house. And you don't need to keep her in the center of the battle line. You just need her to be in the center of the battle line at one point during your turn, then you play a card from out of house, and then you go. Absolutely love it, absolutely brilliant, definitely the best card in the Grand Star Alliance. At me in the comments if you wish. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, only 1 more house to go, and don't worry, we'll get to that one tomorrow. For now, I'd like to know what you think about the Grand Star Alliance, and as always, I'd love a full top 10 if you'd be so kind. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where you can talk with me about games. It's a lot of fun. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio if you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.